So I'm really, really annoyed after a 1 hour and 20-minute conversation with my aged care and a person that I was advocating for. So there were 3 of us on the call with my aged care, my aged care representative, myself, and the person that was needing the support. And clearly articulating to my aged care the challenges that this person was experiencing, managed to have my aged care do the right thing and forward this person's case to the ACAT team so that they could be assessed for a home care package. From the moment we hung up with my aged care, my client received a call about 10 or 15 minutes later from the ACAT team, who informed my client that they would be getting CHSP services. So that's the most entry-level support services available. CHSP services, and the case would be referred back to the RAS team for that assessment. So my client obviously called me to say, hey, what's the situation here? So obviously, knowing that CHSP was not even going to cut it close to being suitable for my client, I called the ACAT team and I asked them, why was my client referred back to the RAS team, the Regional Assessment Service, which is the team that can only approve people for CHSP. That team can't approve people for home care packages. Only the ACAT, Aged Care Assessment Team, can approve people for a home care package. Why did the ACAT team refer that case back to the RAS team, even after a 1 hour and 20-minute conversation with my aged care to clearly articulate why an ACAT assessment and a home care package is required? And the ACAT's response was, we are so busy in the ACAT team, and that call that the client received was not an ACAT assessment, it was an ACAT triage. So what they're doing is they're triaging the situation, asking some very, very surface level questions as to whether an ACAT assessment is required. And a client is expecting an assessment, a thorough assessment, is getting this very surface level triage, and just based off that, doesn't know what's happening, isn't communicated to properly, and then straight away back to RAS and potentially falling through the cracks. Now, my client's one of the lucky ones. They've got me as their advocate. So hearing that, I'm calling ACAT and I'm saying, what's going on? They said, the client's got a better chance of getting some support services in the interim because we've got a 3 or 4 week wait for an ACAT assessment. So we send them back to RAS, they can get some entry-level services, and it will be up to the RAS team to refer them back to us if they think it's suitable. Now, that's absolute terrible, because, well, the RAS assessor is going to just provide them with RAS services, CHSP services, which they're going to have a hell of a time finding service providers that can actually fulfill those RAS services, CHSP services. And the consumer is going to think they're getting aged care. That's what it is. It's not meeting my needs, but that's all this country has to offer. And they haven't been communicated to properly about actually what is happening, what their rights are. And they fall through the cracks. Now, this is a person that has had a recent head trauma because of dizzy spells and vision impairments. This person has mental health challenges that create severe anxiety and depression for the person. This person needs case management. This person needs social support. There is no CHSP code, CHSP service that caters for those things. So I asked the ACAT assessor, telling them that. I said, you're going to send this person back to the RAS team. There is no service under CHSP that provides those required services. So they won't be able to fulfill his needs anyway. And you're hoping that, at the very least, the RAS team can potentially provide a code for some domestic assistance. Now, this person's psychological condition is such that he does not let people into his home, right? So the thought of having a stranger come to the home and that a potential different person every 2 weeks is not even fathomable. There is no way that's going to happen. All this was missed in the triage, right? When I was speaking to the ACAT, I said it would be more appropriate to have this person booked in for their ACAT assessment. Book them in now for the ACAT assessment. Let them wait the 3 weeks, because it's going to take at least 10 days, 2 weeks, for the RAS team to call them anyway. So book them in for the ACAT assessment now, if then you have to wait an extra week anyway. And after that, 15 minutes of navigating that conversation with somebody that was in the beginning was very, very adamant. No, we've got to go to RAS. They have to refer back if they... After 15 minutes of me navigating that conversation, being able to clearly articulate why that wouldn't have been suitable, finally, that person I spoke to at ACAT said, all right, we will have the ACAT person who did the triage call you back, Jim, because I'm a representative for this person, so they can call me back. All right. Like I said, my client's one of the lucky ones because they have me advocating. But my heart absolute breaks for all those older people in their 80s who are just going on the words, on whatever they're told by these people of positions of authority, and falling through the cracks, suffering in silence. I just don't know the answer. I don't know the answer. Well, I do know the answer. People need to stick to the protocol of what has been listed. My aged care have referred to ACAT. ACAT, no matter how long the waiting list, don't try to game the waiting list by triaging them off an ACAT waiting list and putting them into RAS waiting list. That is gaming the system with the disguise of helping the senior get support services sooner rather than later. You're not getting the senior support services. And if you are thinking that it's support services, it's things that they do not need. So you're wasting taxpayer dollars by doing it. Put them down the right path. Show an increase in the waiting list of ACAT. Show the healthcare administrators in this country that ACAT lists are blowing out, so that it's real data and it can be actioned. That's the answer. At least it's a better answer than what I just experienced a little while ago. Look, that's my rant for today. I'm sorry to make everyone's ears bleed with that, but I thought it was worth sharing about what's going on. My number is 1300 87 43 42. I'm from Village Local. We provide community advocacy supports. If you're running around in circles, confused and baffled by how the aged care system works, and you need somebody to help you get through the bureaucracy of it all, then give us a call. Our email address is info@villagelocal, all one word, villagelocal.com.au. Happy to assist where we can. Take care.